So I'm Devin Osborne and I'm the Head Agronomist at Aerobotics. I joined Aerobotics about a year and a half ago now, and I actually met James while I was completing my studies at Stellenbosch University. I was studying agriculture, where I was looking at predicting wheat yield using aerial imagery. And actually my professor, her husband knew about aerobotics back then, so it was an easy choice for us, and there weren't many aerial companies around back then. So yeah, I mean that's how I met James, and that's how I ended up at Aerobotics. And yeah, it's a funny story. I was actually one of Aerobotics' first clients. The main role of the agronomy team is to link agriculture with technology. So our main goal is to make sure that the data we're collecting is actually a true representation of what's happening on the ground. So we spend a lot of time working closely with the software team and with the data science team, building the products. So we also spend a lot of time doing the research and development behind the products that we are building for our clients and farmers. Unlike most farmers, I didn't grow up on a farm, and I wasn't surrounded by any farmers growing up. My passion for agriculture actually comes from my parents. So since I was young, I was always one of those kids that didn't enjoy eating his Brussels sprouts and his carrots and all other types of veggies. And my parents always used to tell me that I should appreciate what I've got on my table, because there are other families and children out there that don't get to eat every night. So I always asked myself the question, why do other people not have what we have? And that's basically the main reason behind my passion for agriculture, and the reason why I ended up pursuing a career in it. So the most exciting project that I'm working on at the moment is definitely our yield management tool, which falls part of drone scouting. It's definitely the biggest project that I've ever worked on. It's definitely going to also provide the farmers with a lot of value. So what we're doing is we're taking close-up imagery of all the trees, and we're counting all the fruit that's on the tree. And this basically gives the farmer an idea of how much fruit is on his tree before he actually harvests. So at the moment, the way the farmers are doing this is they're spending a lot of time and a lot of money out in the field, and it's very labor intensive. They have to count the fruit on the tree before harvest. And this is sometimes done a couple of months before they actually harvest. And the reason they do this is to get an accurate number of fruits in tons, so they can market their fruit before it's harvested. So it's quite important that this process is accurate and that the farmers are getting the numbers they need in order to market their fruits at the end of the day. That's a difficult question, because everything at Aerobotics is worth looking forward to. But if I had to pinpoint it down to one thing, it would definitely be the growth. Because when I started at Aerobotics a year and a half ago, there were only about 12 of us in the office, and now we're in a much bigger office space now with almost 60 employees. So the growth is exponential, and I think there's amazing opportunities for us going forward. That would definitely be Jack Stedman from a band called Bombay Bicycle Club that's based out of the UK. So ever since I was young, I always had a strong passion for poetry and music, and Jack is a genius at merging the two. As a matter of fact, I've actually had breakfast with him before, but I think the conversation will be a lot more interesting at dinner over a glass of beer or a glass of wine.